an ache inside of me. It's a deep hole where I bleed. Oh, can I seal it? You're like an ocean without land, not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it. So cold yet warm when you hold me, when you close. I know I'm a lost case, I'm a mess. But everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray. It's the last thing that I need. Wanna feel something that's real. With you I get that. You're like a lighthouse in a dream, really distant but your beam is guiding me home. So cold yet warm when you hold me, when you close. I know I'm a lost case, I'm a mess. But everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray.
Hit you with the text on XO. My ace boom boom, no flex, no. I won't gas you up like petrol. Just trying to take you way up where the jets go. But you didn't notice that. Keep clocking all my hours, I told you that. Work now, play later. But you keep going off on me. Keep texting like it's all on me. Yeah, you're all in my head like you're my forever, not for right now. My day one, you hold me down. Hard cold like the wintertime. Fight for your love, can't slow me down. Don't go far. I take me and you over living large. Know I'll be there wherever you are. Cause you shine bright like a shooting star.
Everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, Freddy. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon.
Oops.
I'm very well, thank you. How yourself?
I'm absolutely fine, Freddie. A win yesterday, so we're going to be talking about it in another one of our talk about it. It was a 1-0 win. It was at times a little bit stressful, as a 1-0 always is when you're watching Lee Charles TV. But it was,
Definitely.
they played well, really. I mean, we defended fantastically. Just going back to the start of the game, just looking at the team that they put out, what were your initial thoughts on that, Freddie? I mean, people were saying in my stream, Tinkerman at it again and all this sort of thing. And did you think that was the correct starting 11, would you say, on that, Freddie? And also in the comments, post in the comments as well, if you think that was a good starting up lineup. We'll just go through it actually if you want. I don't know if you've got it there in front of you, Freddie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, no problem. I thought we started off very, very slowly, in all fairness. The last few games, the two at home and then the game yesterday, we actually started off very slow.
Yeah.
I was quite interested actually in the starting lineup to have Garbutt, Ward, and Embleton coming, while Thornley, Mitchell, Hamilton, and Sims obviously dropped to the bench. I thought, yeah, as you say, Lee, we very well defensively, but yeah, it was just that slow start for me. Just create a little bit of frustration. Just obviously you want to get going from the first whistle.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing with me as well. I mean, I already read before the game and I'd seen, on the forum that Milton Keynes Dons have a way of playing where they just have massive possession stats. They've got like something like an average of, 71% over the season so far. But for all the possession they had, I thought they were very pedestrian. In fact, I've never seen a team play quite so slowly, if I'm being honest. I mean, the build-ups from the back were just too, they just took too long, or just faffing around, didn't they? Did you not think that? Although they seem to be obsessed with possession, but it was actually possession of doing nothing for me most of the time. In fact, if I'd have been a Milton Keynes Don fans, I'd be pulling my hair out, to be honest, watching that. What did you think of?
Yeah, I thought both teams started off very slowly, to be fair.
Yeah.
I know that obviously MK Dons came in the game, win the last 4. And saw a video yesterday actually. MK Dons manager, he actually came up that he strongly believes in what he's doing. Yeah, there is a few critics from what he's actually, the way he's trying to play football and his philosophy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he believes strongly that if they carry on playing in the system, that they're going to get better and better, and then as a result, hopefully start picking up results.
Right. Well, if I was an MK Dons fan and I watched that last night, and we're getting down to the last 10 minutes of the game, and one of my criticisms with Blackpool the last 2 games at home was they just didn't keep hold of the ball. They didn't take it down. They didn't get it down in the corners. There was no game management. We were just hoofing it anywhere and giving it away all the time. So I'm expecting this for the last 10 minutes against Milton Keynes Dons last night, and we didn't need to hold the ball because they actually did all the time wasting and holding the ball themselves. I know we were pressing them back, but how many times did they just pass back to the goalkeeper, pass out to the right back, pass across the centre half, pass to the left back to the goalkeeper? I'm thinking, what are they doing here, Milton Keynes Dons? You know what I mean? We didn't need to worry really about them even getting past their halfway line. And if he thinks that that's the way to play football, I don't get it, if I'm being honest. I don't see there that surely there should have been some instruction from Milton Keynes Don's bench to say, come on, lads, you've got to start moving this ball forward a bit quicker than you are. Because Will Grigg came on. Will Grigg came on, and for the last 10 minutes, I think he only got, he looked pretty sharp, and then he didn't have a touch. He didn't get a touch on it, did he?
No, he didn't. I was actually a little bit anxious when he came on because obviously Will Grigg does like to score against Blackpool, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, I thought the only clear shots that they had during the game is when Cameron Stewart went through and hit the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, we were fortunate.
They
didn't score. But other than that, defensively sound, I thought we had an absolutely fantastic game. Yeah, played really, really well yesterday.
Yeah, the defense was superb. I totally agree with you. That first 20 minutes again, really, we were just we couldn't even get hold of the ball for the first 10 minutes. I don't think. I think I said to Jane for about the first 7 or 8 minutes. I don't think we actually touched the ball. We kicked off, and then it was just like we just couldn't get hold of it. We couldn't get it off them. They were just passing it around. But the other strange thing they did, and they had a really good right winger, but when he went into the box, he just stopped
Ethan led.
He just walked in the box, sort of like rather arrogantly. But it was, I don't think I've ever seen a winger do that, and he had a lot of pace on him. I thought he was a real danger in, but I couldn't understand why he just sort of like just brought it to a complete halt in the box. It was just strange. It was a very strange night. It was a night of nothing, wasn't it? A night of nothing. There was nothing much to say. Jane was talking about the advertising boards and watching the two cars playing football, and that was the most interesting thing in the game until Jerry Yates scored.
Yeah,
until Jerry Yates.
The guy you're talking about there, the right winger, was actually I believe a guy called Ethan Laird, who's played for Man United under 23s, actually on loan from Man United. And I thought, to be fair, for the first half an hour, he actually gave Garbutt a bit of a tough time. But obviously from on Garbutt started getting the better of him, which obviously was in favour for us. Yeah. As with the game, I believe strongly that we actually had a game plan that we took to MK Dons, and that was actually to let them dominate possession in their half. We set up a trap and close them down, and obviously making them make a mistake, and then that's when Yates went in and scored that goal. Yeah.
So talking about that goal, Kai did a bit of ratting to get the ball off them. It was a great sort of interception by the way he ratted the ball out and pushed it through to Yates. It came completely by surprise, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting it. I was talking about something else.
Yeah, for all the critics that. Nope. Yeah, for all the critics that Kai has got, I thought he played well yesterday. That tackle and then made a pass over to get.
Right, now we're losing this microphone, Freddy. I don't know why. It's cutting out all the time.
Right, okay.
Maybe just go. Have you got a microphone on your headphone, by the way? Is there a microphone on there? Is it like a one with a mic? No, an inline one.
No.
It's just losing.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But it's just whether it carries on. I want to get what you're saying, really.
Right, okay.
So carry on. Just say that again, sorry, because you did break up.
Yeah, sorry about I was just saying, Kai, for all the critics that he's got, I thought that yesterday he played well. For the time that he was on, he intercepted from Darling. And then I said passed the ball over to Yates, and Yates ran in and scored a goal. Yeah, it was great.
And I think what I liked, I don't know about you, but what I liked about Jerry Yates' goal was we've seen him, score so many different kinds of goals. This was a goal I wasn't, obviously takes the goalkeeper on, goes round the goalkeeper, which I like to see, and just slides it into it, just made it look easy. Whereas CJ Hamilton had the same kind of opportunity in the second half and he just put it straight at the keeper, didn't he? Whereas, he didn't dink it over. I was talking to Brett in his interview, and he said he went through a spell of just dinking the ball over the keeper. He seemed to go in every time, so he got an habit. Every time he had a one-on-one with the keeper, he just dinked it over him. And he thought, here's another dink, and every time he did it, he scored. But Jerry Yates just, you don't know what he's going to do. He's so unpredictable, and the fact he did just take it round the keeper, it's a goal, isn't it? It's easy. It was like shelling peas going past the goalkeeper. And he just looks class because he's just got so many different ways of scoring a goal. And I think he's getting better and better, and his confidence is, through the roof. And if you're a striker, you basically just have one chance. I don't think, did he have another chance? That was his one chance. He put it away. One chance and put it away.
I don't recall. Look at the starting formation. I think I believe we started with the 4-5-1. And the initial thoughts about that formation is, he's up on his own at front again, and probably he's going to be isolated. But no, he did really well with his goal. Took it well, and it's really, really good to see that he's improving leaps and bounds for when he first came to the club.
he is certainly looking like the player that we saw on the video reel, because I think you probably saw it and I saw it. There was a video reel from Swindon showing his goals, and I thought, oh boy, this guy looks good. And I think if we put together at the end of the season a video roll of Jerry Yates' goals, they'll all be, different kinds of goals, won't they? They'll be fantastic, penalties, and
he's got some fantastic goals.
He really has scored some crackers, hasn't he? So it's whether we can keep hold of him, to be honest, in the summer, because people are going to be looking at him, aren't they? But he'd say in his interview 100%. that he was tempted here by the Pepsi Max big one, so maybe he'll stay. Right, let's just go through some.
You can't be a bit of pleasure beach.
No. He said, "Why did you come to Blackpool?" And one of his reasons was Pepsi bigger. And he said, so I thought, brilliant. Right, Ed Butler asked first of all. Let's go through it. Afternoon, Ed. He says, "Do you think there'll be a chance of the playoffs?" I really do. I think. I've said it a few times. We've got to get past this Fleetwood game and the two Sunderland games to really have a good idea of where we're going to be, because I think they're three big games at the moment. I wasn't fearing Fleetwood so much a couple of weeks ago, but now they're starting to get into the swing of things. So I think that's a big game. Simon Grayson coming back. We need to win that game, even though it's
Fleetwood seems to. Fleetwood seems to have picked up games as well. Obviously 1-3 now on the bounce. What is interesting as well is that the Burton game. Burton are actually the form team now in Division 1. I think they've won. I think they've won 6 of the last 6, and that is not going to be an easy game when they come to Bloomfield Road.
No, it's one of those games where it got called off as well, didn't it? And it may have been a better night if we could have played in them. But maybe that was just a start, because Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was there, wasn't he, on that night? So he'd already taken over. So he's turned things round at Burton. So, but they're causing upsets to everybody, aren't they? To everybody. So they could upset other teams around us as well. It's not just us that can be affected by them. Also Bristol Rovers as well. They're starting to pick up some form now as well, and we've lost to them, of course. So, and we've got them on. We lost away at Christmas, didn't we? And we've got them in the last game of the season, so that could be interesting as well if they're starting to play better.
Yeah, I think is it Joey Barton now, their manager?
It is, yeah, and that could be a very very significant game for us at the end of the season. Hopefully that they carry on their run of form and they get themselves out of the relegation spots, and they've not got anything to play for at the end of the season would be ideal for us, I think, wouldn't it? Peter Donnelly says,
I know Bristol Rovers had a good win yesterday. Was it 4-1? They won.
Yes, they did.
Their forms is improving
against Accrington Stanley, wasn't it, last night? Was it Accrington?
Yeah, and Accrington and Old was this season.
Let's just have a little look at the table. Let's just see where we are. One table. Right. Okay. So looking at the table, we are at the moment.
We're 11th.
We're in 11th, aren't we? So we're 11th. We've got 2 games in hand on Accrington Stanley, and only 2 points behind Accrington, so we can go above them if we win these games in hand. Same on Oxford. We've got 2 games in hand on Oxford, and we're only 2 points behind them. We've got 4 games in hand on Charlton, and we are 3 points behind them. And we've got 2 games in hand on Ipswich, and we're also 3 points behind them. So we can get past everybody up to so we can get ourselves to 7th, can't we? Then Portsmouth, we've actually got 3 games in hand, but they're 14 points ahead of us at the moment. So sorry, they're 4 points ahead. Oh yeah, we can get past Portsmouth as well then. The only team we can't get past at the moment is Doncaster are
only 7 points above us, and we've got a game in hand.
7, but we've got only 1 game in hand on them, have we? Yeah, just 1 game in hand. So we'll still be 4 points behind Doncaster, so we can't get past them at the moment. But they lost last night, so they're a funny team as well, aren't they? Because they've just obviously lost their manager, and they had a couple of games. But last night, the Doncaster Rovers fan that I know, Aaron, he's not very happy about how they played last night. Peter Tony says, afternoon, Liam, Freddy. Great result at the Roundabout Central last night. Well, it was really, because it was a potential banana skin, wasn't it, with a team that hold the ball so well. It could have been a draw,
Yeah, it was vital.
But
The
having
fact that
said
we
that,
got
we
3
had a
points
couple
yesterday.
of chances. We had a couple of chances to really put the game to bed. There was the CJ Hamilton in the second half, and he's obviously just not quite sharp yet with his shooting, where he had the one-on-one with the keeper. I mean, he created it all himself. He dispossessed the fullback and ran around him and went on to goal. And he didn't have. It was a one-on-one with the keeper, but it came very quickly, didn't it? The keeper was out very fast, and he was soon on him, so he soon closed him down. So it wasn't probably as easy as Jerry Yates had more time to think about it. And of course, there was just that pullback on Mitchell, wasn't there? That could have been a red card, if I thought. To be fair, there was also a penalty shout, wasn't there? They didn't show it again on the replay,
Yeah, I saw that.
but when Yates went down in the box in the second half, and that looked, to me, it looked like a penalty, but they didn't show it again. So I don't know, but there was quite a few chances, we had as well as there, obviously the chance where I hit the crossbar, which was really good. Reese is a Sunderland fan. You think he was a Lincoln fan, but his name's Lincoln. Well, I don't know, Reese, whether we can catch you. We've got you to play, haven't we? So we've got you to play twice. So we will. I will let you know then.
Sunderland have been fantastic form at the moment.
Yeah, they are playing really well. Yeah, they are, and they've got this billionaire owner that's coming in. He's also saying he's creased laughing at my homecoming video. Well, that was like one of that was a couple of years ago, and that was one of my first videos. And I'd only just started. I'd just done the cleaning the seats video, and you saw on the comedy carpet that the One Show were there and Quest HD and everything, and they picked up on my videos, and it was I had to do something, but it was pretty emotional that day. Probably won't mean anything to a Sunderland fan, but it meant an awful lot to Blackpool fans, didn't it?
Yeah, that video was fantastic. I was actually watching that a couple of days ago, and you can see the excitement and the enjoyment, and it was really nice to see that you're getting your family involved, Ollie. So walking down to the stadium, you got a little bit emotional, didn't you?
I did.
Which was obviously nice to see.
I did. It was that damn Colin Murray thing where he talked about it was. And the funny thing was, I wasn't going to say it because it had made me cry when I first read it, because it was quite emotional. Because if you remember, we all marched to the ground, and then we turned our backs and walked away, didn't we, from the turnstiles? We didn't go in. So did you remember that one where we all went to go in and then didn't go in and walked away? Do you remember that protest that we did?
Yeah, it was
yes. So obviously he'd
not been able to go into the ground.
That's right. Well, he'd mentioned he'd obviously really looked into it, and he knew the situation really well. And he was saying that obviously it was going to be a very emotional day for like dads with their sons and everything, that finally, they go to the turnstiles, and rather than walk away from the ground, we go in, to a new era. And it really did upset me, what he'd said. And I knew when I mentioned it, if I mentioned it, I'd crack up, and I did obviously crack up just at that time, because it was really, because I was getting nearer and nearer to the ground. We're coming down Lonsdale Road, and I'm thinking, God, it's going to happen. And it was just too much, really. And when I looked at everybody behind me, I'm thinking, bloody hell, this is unbelievable, to be a part of that massive march down to the ground. And, Reese may not have seen the actual, the other video, which was done by Wayne, where, we got us all singing in the ground, and the whole ground for like 6 minutes of singing that song. It's one of the most amazing fan videos you'll ever see. I don't care who you are, whether you're Sunderland or Barcelona or Real Madrid, you won't get anything like that. It was unbelievable, and it's well worth watching. It's a video that was done by Wayne.
Is that the one where Bloomfoot Road's on the pitch?
The Bloomfoot Bears on the pitch, yeah.
That's a fantastic video.
Wayne was on the pitch as well, so he was doing, I don't know what, he was doing some photography, so he was on the pitch, so he got Bloomfield Bear, and then he just pans around the ground twice, doesn't he? And the whole thing is just going absolutely bonkers, wasn't it? It was incredible. And they're all singing, woke up this morning feeling fine, and it just went on and on. And it's funny, we went to Accrington Stanley, which was the game before. We actually went to the away game at Accrington Stanley, and that chant was kind of started at Accrington Stanley in the away end. And I was in with Sebi and Alexander, behind the goals. and this chant started going. I was saying to them, what are they singing there? That's kind of going well. And it started like, people were picking it up, going along the lines, and it was growing and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually you got it. And then everybody, for the whole of the second half at Accrington Stanley, we were just singing that song. And we got a penalty at Aki and won. And if you remember, it was a great night. So that was when that song really started taking. So obviously when people got to Bloomfield Road, not everybody knew it. It was a brand new song because it had only been picked up, on the away game, which was on the Tuesday night, I think, at Accrington. And you could see that it was starting to grow and go round, and it just became that everybody was singing it in the end. It was phenomenal. It was the most amazing day. A day I don't think any Blackpool fan will ever forget, really.
I remember when I first heard it. Actually, me and my mum were sat in the north stand. And we started singing it, and it's actually become one of my mum's song now for Blackpool Football Club. And them songs where after that day, it stayed in your head for days. Remember, pottering around the house singing, we got the oysters out like we said we would.
It was wonderful, wasn't it? It just was a wonderful, wonderful song. And it's a shame it kind of had to die because people didn't want to keep singing about the oysters, did they? But it was it's one of those great songs that just goes round and round and round and round. You can sing it forever. You know what I mean? I like songs that, can really become big chants. Like, Tranmere had with that Tequila song. It was unbelievable. That the way they sang that Tequila was incredible. Right. Going through the comments still. Ollie's Vlogs is here. Hello, Ollie. Saying, hello, Lee. Good win yesterday. Jerry Yates is you legend, he says. He certainly is. Emma Kay asks, can we get into the playoffs? I think we can. What do you think? Can we do it?
Yeah, I think we can as well. I think we've got some fantastic form. I think we're actually third down in the form table. We've got a couple of tricky games in hand, but overall, I don't see why we can't. A couple of other teams on the playoffs now starting to drop points. I do think we make the playoffs.
We are in agreement on that one then, Emma. We are certainly in agreement. Mick Eves has asked a question. I'll put it to you, Freddie. Hi, boys. Do you think with constantly changing the side, Neil's trying to please everyone because the competition for places is all over the park?
With that, I believe strongly that he's trying to do. He's trying to get a bit of rotation coming in. Obviously, we've got a lot of games coming up over the next few months, and he's trying to keep everybody fit. One decision that he made I didn't agree with was dropping Gabriel for Turton. I mean, I like Turton, don't get me wrong, but just dropping Gabriel out of the blue, I just strongly believe that he's just doing it for rotation to try and keep the players fit. When they do get called in again, they are ready. I mean, if you look at Ward actually got dropped. Was it for the Wimbledon game?
Yes, he did.
Then he came back into the game yesterday. So. Yeah, I just think he's just trying to do it for the rotation,
for injuries,
for keep everybody fresh.
Yeah, I really like Ward. I've got to say, I really like him, and I think he had a good game last night as well. I thought he looked really sharp and ready for it, and I do like him, and I think at the moment it is better to bring CJ on. Like second half at the moment until he's fully fit and just keep nursing him back. I don't think we need to risk, playing him 90 minutes for a game. So I think, if we can start with Ward and bring CJ on later on, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I agree with you. I'm totally in agreement. I think it's not the fact that he's just trying to please everyone. I think he's just trying to keep everybody as fit as he can. So if we do, I mean, this is going to be a very hard run-in. There's, don't make no bones about it. We are Tuesday, Saturday, all the way through now, and there's going to be injuries, and there's going to be, tired legs and all the rest of it, and we do have to utilize this squad because really, you looked at that bench last night, and all the bench could have been on, couldn't they, as first teamers? It was a great bench. I was like,
definitely.
Wow. So, and the players that they could have been on for, if they'd have all been sat on the bench, you'd have still been saying that's a great bench. So, we're doing, a lot of people have said over the years that a team is only as good as the strength on the bench. And we saw that when we were in the Premier League, when they just bring on like 40-50 million pound players, and they'd have like 4 or 5 of them just sat on the bench, wouldn't they? You're thinking, oh my God, they're bringing on this and they're bringing on that. And, we didn't have that, did we? In the Premier League, we didn't have that strength in depth, and we have got that at this level. So I think that's really good. Ian Drinnen says, and yes, it does me too as well. The goal from Yates reminded me of Houlihan's against Oldham at Boundary Park. Yeah. In the playoff, like semi-final. I don't know if you were, did you see that goal that Houlihan scored at Oldham?
Yeah, I was actually at the game. Yeah, fantastic goal.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
remember the defender fell over. The defender fell over himself, didn't he, trying to catch him? And he did go round the goalkeeper and just put it in. It was class.
Yeah. Houlihan was a fantastic player for Blackpool. So, the comparisons for Yates, that's only a positive for Yates.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's turning into another sort of Brett Ormrod, isn't he? People are already likening him to actually Brett Ormrod, and I think there's a lot of sort of Ormrod in him. He never stops running and chasing, does he, Yates? He's a very busy player. I bet he's a nightmare to defend against. The defender, you haven't got a clue where he's. Yeah, the defender won't have a clue where he is half the time because he's everywhere, and he runs. I'd like to have a webcam on him just to show where he's running all the time, because he is a really busy player. In fact, there's a couple of offsides last night as well that he got called offside, and they look very tight. One Rovers Vlogs is here. Hello, he's very happy with finally beating Accrington Stanley after 9 years. So well done, Charlie, on that one. So Charlie's somebody that comes on our Football Vloggers podcast on a Monday. David Turner says, afternoon guys, we're not playing well but still in a great position for the running and big players on the way back. Are we playing well or are we not playing well? What's your thoughts on that, Freddie?
In all honesty, I don't think we're playing too well at the moment. I think there's games where we have played far better. The whole game comes to mind where we pass the ball around extremely well. But what is great to see is that we're not playing as well as what we could. We're not fulfilling our potential at the moment, but we are still results, which is great to see.
Yeah, you've got to keep it going, haven't you, even through a bad patch. One of the things I want to mention to you on this thing about we're not playing well, one of the things I was saying in the stream last night is going back to the start of the season, we were not a long ball team. We were passing through, lots of passing. Critch seemed to have them all passing in that, in the Liverpool style. We kept all the ball. But at the moment, we seem to have gone really, really long ball, and we've stopped passing. I don't understand why we've become this sort of long ball team where we weren't. Any thoughts on that, Freddie? Any reason why we've suddenly gone into a bit of a hoofball team at times?
It's certainly something that frustrates me a lot. To be honest, I prefer that if we had Medine playing, can understand the long balls there. But you think with the players that we have at the minute that they play it to feet on the floor and go that way rather than going over the top. I don't really understand it, to be fair.
No, I don't understand it either. So, Critchley, if you're watching, just get back to your passing, because we used to have really high percentage stats, Blackpool, didn't we? We were in the 60s all the time, but suddenly we have started hitting long balls. Ed Butler says, I agree. What, the stats from last night?
Looking at the possession yesterday, for the game, I mean, Blackpool had 29% possession, whereas Milton Keynes had 71.
Wow, that's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they've averaged about 71% possession. A lot of it, if I'm being honest, for Milton Keynes, Don, was a waste of time because they were passing it back to the goalkeeper and across the back line and round in circles. And, they were struggling to get past the halfway line because Blackpool did have a very high press in that second half, didn't they? And they kept them penned back into their own half, which I thought was pretty good to see, defending from the front, which something we didn't do. On Saturday against AFC Wimbledon. We just didn't pressurize them, and we didn't keep the ball in their half, and we didn't keep them penned back in their half. We just let them come on to us, and that was a shame. I think that was really we should have won against Milton Keynes Dons. In my opinion, I thought they were beatable, and I'll never understand it.
One of the things I saw yesterday, Matt Scrafton actually tweeted that towards the end of the game, Critch was actually having a goal at CJ Hamilton and Dougal. or not keeping the ball. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
something we spoke about initially about how the man management needs to be better. And obviously, with Critch having a go at those two players, it shows that it is something that they're currently working on.
Yeah, which will be a good thing because you do need to, without Medine, we all know that Gary Medine is brilliant at holding the ball up and keeping, he is. It's one of his real skills. Some people say he's a bit slow, and sometimes he's not quite as slow as at other times, but he is excellent in that position of just shoving a ball up to him, and he just, he gets hold of it and he keeps hold of it and he manages to find somebody. He quite often lays it off, doesn't he? Which is brilliant. But we're just missing him. I think that may be one of the reasons why we're not holding that ball up as well as we were. Henry Hoover says with Grayson's record at Bloomfield post 2008, we should be fine. So I suppose taking into account his record, but having said that, he did beat Fleetwood at Bloomfield Road, didn't he? So there is that worry that he's coming back to Bloomfield Road. He has won at Bloomfield Road against Fleetwood. Can he do it with Fleetwood?
It's going to definitely make for an interesting game on Saturday. Blackpool win. It's going to be interesting with Grayson coming back. I mean, they say legends shouldn't go back to the club. Grayson's come back and unfortunately tarnished his name.
Certainly has. It's a shame he never came. He really should have never come back, really. But I suppose the Simon Sadler saw it as an opportunity, probably like Simon Grayson, and it just didn't work out. VSL Up says, "Who do you think will finish in the playoff places?" There's a question for you. Who do you think?
Blackpool.
Just us.
I think the top two will be. I think Hull league. I think Sunderland will go up a second. I think Lincoln, Blackpool, and I'm not too sure. After that,
I think I'm with you on that. I was saying to them before, I think Hull and Sunderland will go up automatic. I think Sunderland are coming strong. It could be Blackpool could derail them a little bit because we've got them twice, but they've got, looking at this, they're now only 2 points behind Peterborough on the same game. So that, they're only 2 points behind, and Peterborough lost at Hull. Hull, have played 2 games more, but they seem to be getting stronger and stronger. Hull, don't they? They beat Peterborough last night, so they've got themselves back on track again. So they've had their little blip. So I think they're gonna.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Hull are going to win the league. If I'm being honest, I just can't see anything.
Yeah,
else
they've got a fantastic team, to be fair.
And I think I think Portsmouth have gone. For some odd reason, I just think Portsmouth, there's something seriously wrong with Portsmouth. So looking at this, if we can get in it, it's going to be Peterborough, Lincoln, Doncaster, and Blackpool. That would be it. But I think we'll finish. Above. I think we'll finish with the games in hand. I do think we'll. Well, I can't say anything yet. I want to get Sunderland out of the way for the next 2 games. But I think Blackpool are going to be in there either third or fourth. I think. But that's my Hull, Sunderland, Peterborough, Lincoln, Blackpool. I think Doncaster will just and Doncaster,
I think 5th or 6th for me, like
5th or 6th.
I think Blackpool finished 5th or 6th. Yeah.
Okay,
what's actually interesting to say is if we didn't have the that we had, where would we actually be? It's something I always think about.
I know. I do too. Reese again, Sunderland fan, said they brushed Pompey to one side last night. They didn't have a shot on target. They're so bad. Blackpool, they've got Blackpool twice, Accrington Stanley twice. They've got Hull to play, Lincoln at Peterborough to play as well. Wow. So they've got quite a few tough games in there, haven't they? But then again, Accrington got smashed last night, didn't they? Which I couldn't believe because I was seeing Aki as a dark horse until last night. But they got.
Yeah, Aki seems to have lost form at the minute. They were playing really well a few weeks ago. In the last few games, they've dropped points. It's only a good thing for us, I suppose.
It is. The teams around us are dropping points. Michael Haig says, afternoon, Lee thought the defence were nothing but superb last night. I think the midfield were very poor. I think Stewart needs resting and Dougal brought back in against Fleetwood. What's your thoughts on that? I'm a little bit in agreement with that. What do you think?
Yeah, same here. Stewart's done since come in, but I just don't understand why Deagle's been dropped in the way that he has. I thought post-COVID he was actually a fantastic player for us, and one of the first names on the team sheet. Ever since Stewart's come in, and Deagle's come back from COVID, he doesn't seem to be getting that much game time, which is disappointing from my perspective. To be fair.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan of Kenny Dougal. I think he was the main reason why our form turned around. Looking back, we were struggling. They brought Kenny Dougal in, and it just changed everything. And he has that ability to dispossess people in midfield, which I really like. He does get a foot in there and take the ball off them, and that's a very important part of a midfielder's role is to get hold of that ball and win it back, isn't it? And I think he's better at that than Stewart is, to be honest. And I would give him a rest. So I agree with you, Michael, and I think Freddy is the same. Dennis Hutch, hi Dennis, says that Bloomfield Bear got an ASBO for encroaching on the pitch. So, cheers, Dennis, for that one. Michael Haig says, so hope they play Gabriel for his pace against Fleetwood. Yeah, well, you've already touched on that, haven't you, already? You can't understand why Gabriel's been dropped, because he is a big asset and he can take the ball out of defence and take it right. He can turn a move from defence into attack, can't he, Gabriel? He's so fast down that wing. And I think he's been. I think he's one of my favourite players. So that's Dougal and Gabriel are both two of my favourite players in the team, and neither of them are getting in at the moment, which is maybe could account for why.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed as well is when Gabriel's playing, a bit much strong side, they seem to have gained a good partnership. Gabriel and Hamilton down the right. Since Turner's come in, Turner doesn't really get forward as much. He could be deemed a little bit better, more defensively. But Gabriel, he does like to get forward and overlap with Hamilton. And we have seen the best out of Hamilton before his injury.
Yep, I'm with you as well. I think those are two reasons why we're not actually playing as good as we were, and I think those are the two, for me, two very key men. Kenny Dougal and Gabriel, the two fantastic players, and not having them in the team is a mistake. Whether he's resting them, and they will come back in, but hope they do. Michael Hayes.
Do you think Dougal and Stewart can play together, Lee?
Well, this is the thing. I think they can. I actually think they can. A lot of people like Matty Virtue. Matty Virtue. I can't make my mind up about Matty Virtue, if I'm being honest. I can't make my mind up about. He scored that wonder goal at Oxford and at Charlton, and he's pushing forward. I'm thinking box to box, but he hasn't seemed very box to box, has he? In these last two games, he's not done a lot, has he? Do you think?
No, Stewart tends to drop deep, doesn't he? More to the defence, picks up the ball. I just think maybe player. Stewart and Dougal. Yeah, they're definitely good players. There's a lot of fans at the minute saying that they're very similar, and when they play together, that's you don't get the best out of either of them. But I think they need to create a partnership and understand each other's game, and I think it would be a lot more, improved a lot more in the midfield area.
Okay. Michael Haig says news coming very soon regarding the East Stand plans being drawn up very soon. That would be exciting news, wasn't it? Stephen Roberts says it was an ugly win, but I'll take it. I had my jab earlier, not feeling great, so just gonna listen. There's a lot of people having the jabs now, aren't they? It's coming, isn't it? So and some people seem to get over it a day, and other people it's a week getting over it. So I don't even fancy getting the jab either, to be honest. It doesn't sound great. Patrick Harvey says, how do we think Jerry Yates played overall last night? Well, go on, I'll start with you, Freddie. What do you think of his overall play than Jerry Yates last night?
There's no denying his work ethic. Every single game his work ethic's fantastic. But there is times where I felt yesterday he goes out of the game and then he pops up with a goal. So even though he does go quiet sometimes within games, he's always popping up with goal. I guess that's what's important, really.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he scored the goal that got 3 points. So my dad would always say, if you're a striker, you get a chance, and you score it and win the game, you've had a good night, because that's what you're paid to do. So, yeah, I think overall it's difficult. I'd like to be watching it on a pitch where I could watch him because obviously on iFollow, you're not always seeing what he's doing and where he's running and the runs he's making and, the things he's doing. You don't get the total picture, do you, of actually how he's performing. Whereas if you sat in Bloomfield Road, you can just watch Jerry Yates and see what he's doing. And, you see more of the game, don't you, when it's in front of you. So I can't really answer it, but, I can't complain. He scored and we got a winner and that's it. Dennis Hook says he thinks Critch may trust Turton more when there's an alternative plan, a steady 7 out of 10 every week. But I thought Gabriel was getting 9 out of 10s every week. I didn't think he'd done a thing wrong. I have Dor on Tour comes on the FVP and he's a Nottingham Forest fan and he keeps asking me how is Gabriel doing and I keep saying you're not having him back, we're going to put him in a suitcase and he's just not coming back to we're going to keep him because he's fantastic, and then we drop him. So I was really happy with Gabriel. Michael Haig says that last night's performance reminded him of the Grayson days. Not really. Did it remind you of the Grayson days, Freddie?
No, not really. No, I don't really know what Michael means by that, to be fair. What similarities did you see in the game, Michael?
There's this thing, isn't there? I mean, I watch these games, and if people are watching along with me on Lee Charles TV, everybody knows that it's heart attack pills if we're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go, because there's always going to be some attacks at you. It always gets stressful on my channel as I get more and more frustrated with not keeping all the ball and everything. And I'd love a 2 or 3-0 win every week. But ask any footballer, any professional footballer, and they will tell you that 1-0 wins are the hardest wins to get, because it is that way where you just can't make a mistake. You get 2 or 3, 4 up, against a team. If they get one, it doesn't matter, does it? But when you're on 1-0, in that last 10 minutes, the slightest error, and you can be punished, and it can go in, as we've seen in 2 games. And I think we're proving that we're very hard to beat because we can win 1-0. And we have consistently won a lot of 1-0s, haven't we? It's, this is not a one-off. We've done a lot of 1-0s. In fact, we're unbeaten, aren't we, since it's in 2021? We haven't been beaten yet. So I think.
When did we play Ipswich? We lost 2-0 to Ipswich, didn't we? Was that in 2021?
Hang on. Yeah, did we? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did lose at Ipswich. That was in 2021. Yeah. Oh, sorry, unbeaten at home in 2021. Yeah. Sorry, we were beaten by Ipswich, but we're unbeaten at home in 2021. So, and there's not many teams in that list. We're in quite an elite list of teams, aren't we, that haven't been beaten at home in 2021. Sorry, I do apologise. It's at home. Michael Haig says he did warn me what type of game it was going to be. Well, it was a winning game, so I'll take that all day long.
We went there with a game plan of giving them the ball, and we set them up a trap, and we did well yesterday, even though we had the black much, to be fair.
Yep. Mark Porter's here. Hi, Mark. He says, hi, Lee. Sometimes you have to win ugly. Great winner away last night. Let's hope we can get a good performance in against the Cos and wipe that grin off Ben's face. Oh, God, don't we just? I have to put it with him all the time. I've never known, I didn't know any Fleetwood fans. And since I've been doing this, I've got to know Ben. And it's so much more stressful when you actually know somebody of the opposite team that, it's like doing something with your mates, in it, and losing. It's just, it kind of, I just don't want to lose to him at all. I really don't. Michael
we've definitely got to win on Saturday to keep him quiet.
Oh God, we have to. Michael X says Stuart performances have dropped off lately and needs to be rested to recharge his batteries. Well, I think that as well, because he wasn't playing football. He'd been out for 6 months. He'd not got a team. We brought him in, and he's basically played every game. He must be feeling it a bit because he's not had much time to get any rest, has he, since he's joined us. So Stephen Huntley says, do you think that Critchley tinkers too much at times? What do you think, Freddie?
Possibly. Again, we said before, didn't we, about the squad rotation and keeping players fresh. I think that's just the main reason tinkers, to be fair.
Yeah, he does get accused of being a tinker man, but I think he's doing it for a reason. I think he's doing it to keep the squad rotated and keep them all fit and ready to go, and anybody can slot in, if anybody gets, and we have, haven't we? You think of the injuries that we've had. We've lost Gary Medine, the star striker really in the team, the professional, the Premier League striker. We've lost him. We've lost Marvin Ekpiteta, who was playing out of his jacket and was man of the match every week. We've lost him. We've lost Gretterson, who also looked fantastic. But we've just carried on, haven't we? It's not affected us at all. So I think, although he's a tinker man, I think he's just been able to slot players in, and it's not really affected us, which is it's quite amazing, really. Right, Ryan Cleaver.
It'd be fantastic to play the best 11 players each week, but we've got 2 games in a week now, and obviously if you keep playing them game in game out, then they're going to get tired in. So I don't blame Critchley for tinkering. To be fair,
good. Me neither. Ryan Cleaver. I'm an Albion fan. Blackpool played attractive football when watching them in the FA Cup. They have the quality up front in Yates and Medine, who complement each other in different styles of play and pace out wide. They have the games in hand to get to the playoffs. But I think the teams in the playoffs are too strong for Blackpool. Hull, Lincoln and Peterborough look like they'll go up, and you can never write off Portsmouth, he says. Or Sunderland. Well, we have written off Portsmouth, haven't we? Already, we've already said they're gone. The Reds have gone. Sunderland, I think I don't think you can write Sunderland off at all. Peterborough always gas it, don't they? Peterborough are notorious for falling apart at the end of the season, so we're relying on that. Lincoln are a funny one, aren't they? They're a funny one because Fleetwood went and beat them. So you don't know.
It'd be nice to get a result against Lincoln next time we play them. Obviously, what happened in the first half of the season. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get 3 points against Lincoln when we play them.
Yep. Ryan Cleaver says, after watching Blackpool in the FA Cup, it's fair to say they turn up for the big clubs and underestimate the smaller clubs. Do you think we do that? Or it's just a case of these smaller clubs at the moment seem to raise the game when they play us?
I think it's a case of that, Lee. Obviously, when we played the likes of Hull, we were always going to up our game. So the quality that Hull possess. I think when the lower league teams, such as Wimbledon, play us, they put that extra 20% in. What Brett Ormrod said as well, when you had that podcast with him, it's sometimes more difficult to play the lower league teams than it is the teams that higher up in the league, and that's because obviously the battle that the lower league teams bring to you.
Yeah, because they're trying to stay up, and it's as hard down there as it is at the top to win games. They've got to win to stay up, and they're fighting it for everything, aren't they? And we seem to have trouble against those teams that really are up in our faces, aren't we? And yep, I'm agreeing with you there as well. I'm totally in agreement today, Freddy. Absolutely, 100%. Michael Haig says you have to rotate playing Saturday, Tuesday because of the schedule we've had this season. I personally think we have had one of the strongest squads in the league going into the playoffs, although somebody above says he doesn't think we are one of the strongest, but I think we are. And I like it that people don't think that Blackpool are strong, and people are not seeing Blackpool coming up on the rails, and they're not taking us seriously because we are a good side. On our day, we're a damn good side.
Yeah, definitely. It's fantastic to have the squad depth as well. And when players get injured or come out for game, a player can step. It's fantastic. Same philosophy, you keep the same attacking football, and nothing really changes. So it's fantastic.
Ryan Cleaver saying Medine is a massive loss, and I think Yates suffers when he doesn't play. Well, he does. He does in his game. He doesn't have as good a game, but he's still good enough to get goals without Medine, which is good to see, isn't it? It makes you wonder if and when Medine comes back, how much of a difference that will make to Jerry Yates, and whether he'll, how many goals is he going to get this season if Medine comes back in for the run-in. I think that's really important, actually. If Medine does come back in for the run-in and they just carry on where they left off as the strike partnership was getting, I thought it was getting really good. And if that is rekindled when he comes back in, then we've got a really good chance, I think, Blackpool.
Yeah, definitely. It's, Yates has done really well on his own, but when York and Cole get back together, I expect more goals, and I think it benefit the long term, to be fair.
Mike's Gaming thinks you're a footballer there. Yeah, look at that. See, have we got a footballer really? Saying Freddie Abram, just a fan, just a long-standing Blackpool fan, aren't you, Freddie? But I bet you'd love to be on that pitch, would you?
Yeah, I used to play for Barcelona and came to Blackpool loan and got into back to the Premier League. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Jay Kinsella is happy that we ground out a lucky win last night. We're all happy that we are. I watched Snowpiercer after the game, and I was really happy last night. Honestly, I just love it when we get a win. Any win will do me, even if it comes off the backside of a defender. I don't care as long as you get 3 points on the board. So I'm always happy. The edgy ones, Geordie's here. Hello, Jord. Hopefully this rain over the next few days doesn't call off Saturday's game against the scummy Cos. They need a battering to remember how small they are. Well, this is the fear, isn't it? Have they sorted out the drainage on this bloody pitch? Because we are getting some rain and we had some winds last night. Just hope to God the weather improves, through the week. It's only Wednesday, so there is time for it to get better. But we definitely need this game on Saturday. In fact, we can't afford to have another game off, can we? It's simple as that. We just can't afford. These games have got to be on. VSL up. Hello. Sunderland have been on this run of form with one fit senior centre back, and he's only 21. This schedule's had an effect on injuries to teams. We have 11 first team players injured. Wow. Blimey, have we? Have we got 11 injured? Or is that them? Is that Sunderland? Are you Sunderland? Oh, probably Sunderland. So Sunderland got first. Yeah, 11 first team players injured. Bloody hell. So they're going to do well then, aren't they? If they can keep it going with 11 first teamers out.
Yeah, I expect Sunderland to be in the top 2 at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think I do as well. Jay Kinsella says Medine's hold-up play and all his free kicks he forces stops opposition rhythm. We need him back. We do, don't we? It's class, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
It's class, Gary Medine. Ryan Kluwer says, with games in hand, does that put more pressure on Blackpool or the teams around them? Well, it's pressure either way. It's an old football adage, isn't it? You better to have the points in the bag than the games in hand. We're well aware of that. Every football fan in the world knows, if you can have the points in the bag, it's always better than having games in hand. But you can only play the deck you've got. And at the moment, we've got games in hand. So we've just got to make sure we win them. And if we win them, we're in with a damn good chance. But we don't, without a crystal ball, we don't know. Although I did say a prayer last night before the game. I don't know if anybody came on my stream, but we said a prayer to the God of football to give us the win, and it worked. So we'll be saying prayers until they stop working at the start of our show. Michael Hayes says, Michael Hayes said Lee Johnson has made all the difference since he took over. Sunderland are on a great run. Yes, they are. Yeah. Mark Keane says we'll have to be back at our best on Saturday against the Cods. We need Medine back. I don't think we're going to get. Do you think there's a chance of him on the bench? I've not heard anything. There is rumours all the time.
I'd love him to be back, Lee. I'd love him to be back.
So would I.
I just can't say at the moment.
I've got a thing in the scrolling across the bottom there saying who was your man of the match. So if you're watching this, if you post in the comments who you think who your man of the match was, who was yours, Freddie, last night?
A few players in contention, but for me, I thought Husband had a fantastic game. Made a couple of fantastic blocks. Husband gets the man of the match for me.
Brilliant. Well, I was just going for Yates because he got the goal. But yes, any of the defenders, they all played really well. I mean, Husband did have a great game, and I think it's a very good shout there. But I'm going to go, obviously, something different. I can't go the same as you, so I'm going for Jerry Yates. Just going through the team. Oh, they are straight in already. Mark Keane is going with you. Husband, it was man of the match for him. Just going through the team last night. Heinzer69 says the MK Dons player who lost the possession, who was Darling, wasn't he? They lost it to give us a goal. That's his man of the match.
Yeah, Darling.
Just while we're waiting for the man of the matches to come in, Ryan Kluwer says, best team you've watched this season?
Definitely not West Brom.
No, definitely not West Brom.
For me, I enjoyed the game. There's 2 games that stand out for me this season. Was the games against Hull and also the first half of the season when we beat Peterborough 2-1 at their place.
Yeah. I would say the 2 best teams that I've seen so far this season are Hull And well, Hull, particularly at Bloomfield Road, even though we beat them, they were amazing. I thought they looked a really good side. And the other team for me was Crewe. I thought they were amazing. I thought they were so good. Honestly, they surprised me so much. They just looked a great team. I'm surprised they haven't
They had a game plan.
Yeah, they did. Jake and Sella says that Harry Darling was his man of the match as well. So just going through the team last night, Chris Maxwell, I thought he had a good game. Did nothing wrong. Didn't have a lot to do, to be honest. His kicking was all right. I kept saying at the end, his goal kicks were going way, way down the pitch. And I kept saying if he'd have just done one of those goal kicks on Saturday, we would not have drawn that game, because it was he never shanks a goal kick, and he just happened to just shank it out, didn't he? And put it out on the halfway line, and of course they scored, throwing it back in. So if he'd have just done a normal goal kick, we wouldn't have drawn on Saturday. Ollie Turton, for you, what do you think? Out of 10?
Probably give to about 7. Steady, good defensively. Give him a 7.
Dan Ballard, out of 10.
Dan Ballard he's a good player. I think sometimes he looks for the easy option and kicks the ball out of play rather than getting it upfield. I'd probably give Ballard, same as Turton, I give him a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, James Husband, we're going for that 9 out of 10 or something for James Husband. Somebody else has come up with Michael Hague says Husband also was man of the match for him. So James Husband out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with a 9 there. Fantastic.
9 out of 10.
9. Yeah, it's made some fantastic blocks. Did really well.
Luke Garbett.
Garbett.
I thought he had a good game. I thought
Yeah.
he was in I'll give him an 8, Luke Garbett, last night.
Yeah, I agree with an 8. Yeah, he's I like Lee Garbett. I like Garbett. I like Garbett going forward, and I also think that he's really good from free kicks and corners.
Yep. So after that, we've got Kevin Stewart. Didn't have the best of games, I didn't think, last night. I thought he was looking a bit tired. I would probably, I would actually give him probably a 6 last night. I didn't think he was that effective last night.
Yeah, a great 6.
Matty Virtue.
Probably give Matty probably a 7.5. I think he did well. I think he did well without overdoing himself. So.
He didn't do much wrong. He wasn't instrumental in anything that happened. I don't think. Again, you can't see, when you're watching on iFollow, it is a little bit difficult to see what he's doing, because you're just getting, obviously, them, they're following the play around and he's not in it. So, but probably for me, Matty Virtue, a 7. Grant Ward, I would give him an 8. I thought he was really, really good last night. Grant Ward, I
agree. Yeah, a good 8 for Ward. I like him. He's one of those players that you can depend upon, and I like him. Yeah, so an 8.
Elliot Embleton, that James got a new song for. Embo, 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 Embo. See, because he's the Lord of the Ball. I think it was her song. She came up with last night.
I heard it off the Tiny podcast. It
was James' song.
Quite humorous.
Elliot Embleton, what do you think of him? I was a bit disappointed, if I'm being honest. I didn't think he did as much as I was hoping he was going to do, to be honest, because he's a bit of a unit, isn't he? He's about as wide as he is tall, isn't he? He's really.
I'd probably say about 6.
Yeah, I'm going with a 6. Sully Kai, who splits opinion all the time.
Yeah, probably. Well, I give a lot of players a 7. I'd give Kai a 7. I thought he did really well with the tackle, and obviously he passed the ball over to Yates for the goal.
Yeah, I'm going to give Sully Kai a 7 as well. We're in agreement on that. Jerry Yates.
I give Yates an 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got to give him a 9, because I give him his man of the match. So I'm going to give him a 9 just for winning the game for us. If nothing else, he got 3 points. So for me, that gives you an extra point if you can win the game for the team. That's it. We just brought on, we brought on Mitchell, didn't we? Dimitri Mitchell. I think he's better coming on as a sub. I don't think he should start. I don't think he's strong enough, but I think he's really dangerous coming off the bench because he's got that pace to frighten a tiring defense. Kenny Dougal didn't do anything wrong when he came on, and I just love him, to be honest. I just think he should be on the. I just wouldn't have him on the bench at all. And I just think he's a great player. CJ Hamilton, just not much. He's just not sharp enough yet, is he? But you can still see he's got
I thought
danger.
when CJ came on, apart from the 1-on-1, he was very quiet. To be fair, you didn't really see much of him.
Whether that's just because we couldn't get hold of the ball, because they were holding the ball so well, weren't they, last night? It was a very strange game, really, last night. Strangest football game I think I've ever watched in my life. I can't honestly say that I've ever seen a game where a team, where you saw what Milton Keynes Dons did on, AFC Wimbledon did on Saturday, where they were 1-0 down, so they threw on like 4 strikers, didn't they? And they were coming out as like gangbusters, weren't they, for that last 10 minutes? It was like the Alamo against them. They just threw everything on the pitch, didn't they? And he went for it because they're 1-0 down, so he just chucked everything at getting a goal. Milton Keynes Dons just looked like they were playing for. They were wasting time to me. They looked like they were wasting time. I still can't get my head around the way they played last night. It was very odd.
They've got some good players, to be fairly, and their number 10, Fraser. I saw a few comments saying that we were actually linked with Fraser in the summer.
Right.
He played well for Burton last season, and then made his way over to MK Dons. But I kind of expected a lot more from him, to be fair. I thought it was very quiet.
It's a nice stadium, MK Dons, but it's very black. It's very like black and grey. It's kind of really drab, isn't it, on the inside? Do you not think? I just, you look at their club badge and it's all gold and red and everything, and then you go in the stadium, they just got this it's just really, really like grey concrete and black seats, and it looks so drab, but fantastical at the same time. It's weird, really. It's a beautiful stadium, but I just think it needs a bit more colour in it somehow. I think it's just a bit, it's just a very, very drab looking place, especially with nobody in. I suppose it's better with fans in, but when there's nobody there, it's, blimey, I thought it was really, really. Mark Keane says that CJ plays better with Medine holding the ball up. He can make runs off him. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, when you saw Hamilton play just before he got injured, the ball went forward to Medine, and Hamilton was able to get into these pockets of spaces, have a score or pull the ball across the box to create goals.
Yep. We totally agree with there, Mark, as well. I think he does play better with Medine holding the ball up. It gives him a bit more space and everything to make these runs. And we were, unfortunately, it's like I was saying earlier, Blackpool have gone a little bit long ball, and they chuck these long balls up that that get cut out all the time. So you're not probably seeing the best of CJ Hamilton because he's not getting any good balls to run onto, and the chance. If you were in the stream earlier on, the chance that he had at the end, he created all by himself. He took the ball off the defender and ran round him and went through, and he actually made that, he made that ball to run on himself. Nobody gave him a ball there. So, maybe when Medine comes back in, we will see the better of. I mean, he's definitely a great player. I mean, you can see it, the way he runs, it's just, it's unbelievable. He runs with no effort as well, which always amazes me, how a player can be so fast but not actually run fast. Do you know what I mean? So, sometimes you see players going hell for leather, don't you? And he doesn't really run like he's going hell for leather, but he is going like he's so smooth. He just glides across the pitch. It's quite incredible. Right.
We've seen many times this season. Too many times this season how the opposition has struggled with Hamilton's pace and how it's enabled him to get in and behind.
Yep, he's a great player. Ryan Cluer says form goes out the window when rivalry comes into it. Well, we've got rivalry on Saturday, so yes, we will be fearing Fleetwood, but they have a little bit of a thing where they've never beaten us at Bloomfield Road. So whether that's mentally in their heads, I don't know. They've never won at Bloomfield Road, have they? So we have that hoodoo over them, but you always think that one day that's going to happen. But I suppose Ipswich have been thinking that for years and years and years. It's never happened for us. We've never won at Ipswich, so maybe Fleetwood will never win at Bloomfield Road, which would be good.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Mark Keane says that he thinks that Sims needs to learn how Medine holds the ball up, showing some videos. Well, I would think that if I was Ellis Sims and I was down the training ground and Gary Medine was there, I would be picking his brains all the time. I'd be asking him, how do you deal with these defenders that are constantly like kicking you and pushing you and holding you? And, because they do rough them up, don't they? You see Ellis Sims does get roughed up a bit. But Medine is very clever. He either holds it up or he goes down for a free kick a lot of times, doesn't he? He's very clever at winning a free kick out of these defenders that are actually giving him a hard time. I think Ellis Sims needs to learn that as well, how to just go down sometimes and make sure you win the free kick. Because if you keep winning free kicks in dangerous places, it changes the game, doesn't it?
I completely agree, with Mark on that aspect. Obviously, Sims, as I said in the previous podcast, is he's new, he's learning, whereas Medine's more of a seasoned pro and obviously knows how to get these free kicks.
Yep. So we're in agreement with you, Mark. Totally. VSL up says thinks it will be a draw on Saturday, or I think you're referring to Fleetwood, or whether you're referring. I don't know if you're a Sunderland fan, or if you're just referring to Sunderland, but if you're referring to Saturday, I think we'll win. I do. I'm going into it, and I just think Blackpool are too good for Fleetwood. I think we're too good for them. I think they're on a good run. Good runs come to an end, and I just think Blackpool will be too much for them on Saturday. I think. What do you think?
Yeah, here's hoping.
We go. Yeah, we're all hoping for a Blackpool win. I think that is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Freddie? I know you've been on the boards and stuff. Is there anything that's on your mind that you wanted to get off your mind about?
No, I've just enjoyed today's podcast. Obviously, I'm working on my Twitter following at the minute, so feel free to come and give me a like and follow, and follow you back, and obviously we can have some fantastic conversations about Blackpool Football Club.
Yeah, so you can see there above him there, Freddy has got it's at Abraham Frederick. Yes, and I'm going to show you. Let's show you some of my things I've been messing about with. So I've got I've got this to come up. You see, this there you are. Let's see, and that's follow me on Twitter. I have to do one for you maybe as well. And of course, the other thing as well, if you're new to the channel, make sure you just do a little bit of that as well. Subscribe to the channel, it all helps. Definitely follow Freddy, because Freddy will be tweeting things about, in fact you can do stuff, Freddy, as well, if you want. You can tweet a tweet about what people want to ask you on the show or anything like that, and I will retweet those for you as well, so that'll get you get you out there. Of course, you're on Facebook as well. My Facebook is just anybody can follow me on Facebook, because it's just purely for Lee Charles TV. It's not, I don't have any, it's not about family stuff or anything. It's just about Lee Charles TV. So anybody can follow me on Facebook. And I think if you actually put in facebook.com, it's Lee Charles TV 1, I think is the actual thing. If you want to get to me directly, but you can follow me on Facebook and follow Freddie on Twitter, and let's get him built up and let's get his following going good, because it talks a lot of sense. Eugene McGeever is saying a couple of questions. Hi, Eugene. He's our favorite Simpsons character. Obviously, he still needs to put a Simpsons character on his little picture there. Not any. We want some Simpson on there. What do you think is Blackpool's best formation this season? Well, I'm all for 4-4-2 normally. For me, I think we play better as a 4-4-2.
I'm going to go 4-4-2. Yeah, I know last night we were a 4-5-1 initially, but overall 4-4-2 for me. Right.
Yep. So we are in agreement on that as well. It's good. There's not. We're not disagreeing here, Freddie. It's great. Ryan Clue says it's a nice setup, and Freddie is a good guy to have on board. So there you are. You're a good guy to have on board, Freddie. It's good to know.
Thank you.
Getting popular already.
Brilliant.
How's Ethan Laird getting on? So, do we know who that is? I don't even know who that is. Who is Ethan Laird? Is he a young academy kid? Have we heard of him?
Ethan Laird, I believe, he played last night for Yeah, he played last night
Hmm.
for MK Dons. He's under
Ah,
23
uh,
on loan from Manchester United.
oh yes. Well then, yeah. Is he the right back? The right winger?
Yeah, the right wing. Yeah,
Yeah, no, he looks fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Maybe a little bit too arrogant at times. He just, I think we were saying it earlier. He does these fantastic runs. He's really quick, and then he just when he gets into the box, he actually starts walking the ball around, doesn't he? It was very weird to watch, but yeah, he looked a good player, very very good player.
yeah, good
I
player,
think he'll
young
be,
player, lots of potential. So
yeah, I think he's one to look out for, isn't he? Right, I think that's it. I think we've answered everything. We've discussed it. We will be back. I will be back with Jane on Saturday for the derby that is not a derby, and hopefully Blackpool can send Simon Grayson and his team packing, because we don't like Simon Grayson here, do we? So it would be nice to
come on the ball.
nice to come on the pool. Thanks to Freddy for being on. It's great. As I said, if we can, we'd like 4 of us on this, so there is a chance if anybody else wants to come on and join in these live streams. These, if you're free in an afternoon and can do it, get in touch with me. Follow me on my Twitter and send me a direct message if you're interested. But it would be good to have 4 of us having a bit of banter on here, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
As well, that
definitely.
would be really good. It would be an
You would definitely definitely feel to me very welcome, and obviously give us more perspectives about the game. So yeah, if you do fancy it, give Lee a shout.
Okay, we're going to get off. Thank you very much. I will see you on Saturday for another watch along. Hopefully, we're not going to be stressing out for the last 15 minutes like we have been doing. But thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Freddie. We're going to get off.
See you guys. See you next
Bye.
time. Bye bye.